Somehow August is already over, which means it is time for yet another reading wrap up. Altogether, in the month of August, I read a total of 7 books. I read 4 romance, 1 sci-fi, 1 novella, and I had 1 DNF. Now, I will say from a lot of the books that I read in July, I was kind of slumping and I kind of just didn't feel like picking up and reading a physical book, so I feel like I'm starting to slowly get out of that mini slump, and I think September is going to be my best reading month yet. But let's get into the books that I read in August. Starting off, I read A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I wanted to pick up this one because, for one, I heard very controversial things about this book. Some people really loved it, some people thought it was kind of a downgrade from her last 2 books, which I thoroughly enjoyed those 2. So I kind of want to pick it up for myself and see what it was all about. I give this 3.75 stars. I definitely have to agree with the majority. I definitely did not enjoy this book nearly as much as her other 2 books. But I will say, I also did pick this up for a fun fall themed video, which hopefully will be coming out soon. And it just gave me the most cozy, rainy day vibes. Like, if you're looking for a book that it is just thunderstorming outside, you want to light a candle, get cozy with a fun book, this is your book. It was absolutely perfect for those vibes, which I was looking for because it was about 90 degrees outside while I was reading this. But our main character basically gets transported into her favorite book. But the one thing that she just can't figure out is, who is this mystery guy that she's never heard about, never read in any of the books? And so there's kind of like a little bit of a mystery element to it, which I enjoyed that part. I will say the plot twist at the ending was not entirely what I was imagining. I think that the reveal was okay. It was done in a good way. It just was not my favorite of plot twists. But overall, I just love her writing style. She is the author actually that got me into magical realism, which is by far my favorite subgenre. I just love it so much, and it doesn't have to be explained to be good, which I also really appreciate that. Continuing on, I actually kind of forgot that I read this one this month, but as I've said in a lot of my other reading wrap-up videos, a big goal of mine has been to try to stop starting series, but to really focus on completing series. And I may not have completed it yet, but I'm working on completing the To All the Boys I Loved Before series. I love the movies, so I wanted to pick up the books, and I read P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. I will say, still really not a big fan of the audiobook narrator, so I did try to read a lot of this physically. And I'm just realizing I thrifted this, and somebody wrote in it, and I didn't even realize until now. Anyways, obviously we are still following our main 2 characters, Peter and Laura Jean, but we are introduced to a new male love interest in this one, who is talked about a little bit in the first book, but is really talked about a lot more in depth in this one. And I gotta say, they cut so much out of these books for the movie adaptations, which rightfully so, to try and get it into a 90-minute movie is very difficult for how much content is actually in this book. But some of these scenes in this one, I really wish they would have put in. It was just so sweet and so cute. I gave this one 3 stars. It's nothing special. It's just fun to read, just for a cutesy little high school romance book. And then this next one. I tried to read Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. I've got to say, I've read a few of her books, and none of them have really quite hit home for me the way that I feel like her books do for so many people. I DNF'd this one. Now, I will say, I do like the sprayed edges, but I just did not enjoy any of the content that was in this book. In this book, we're following a whole bunch of college students, and just the way that they're talking, they sound like they're in middle school talking about sex in such a way that is just so cringy to read that it's just not enjoyable. And I think I put it down at maybe the 20% mark, which maybe I judged it too hastily, but I just could not get through it. I probably will be giving this book away or selling it because it was just not for me. And I feel like for what I did read about, it was just simply smut. That was all that I was reading or like hearing them talk about. And I didn't even get to like the plot where she's a diver and like to hear about her traumatic incident. And I just couldn't get through it enough to want to know what happened. Definitely not for me, but that's okay. This next one was so cute. Oh, it was so cute. I actually kind of buddy read this one with one of my best friends, and it is The X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. This one had such perfect summer vibes. It takes place at a wedding. The tension that she wrote in this one is so good. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Honestly, I really recommend this one. This is probably one of my favorite books that I read this month. Basically, their best friends are getting married, and everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong, so it is up to Georgia and Eli to work together and stand each other while trying to fix their friend's wedding. I will say a lot of people do compare this book to Happy Place, which I could really see. There's a lot of similarities between the characters in each book, and also with it being like a wedding and a tight friend group, etc. But genuinely, this was a really fun book to read. I'm really glad I picked it up, and I feel like this is also part of the reason why I'm getting out of my mini slump. Plus, I love the cover. I know a lot of people don't like people on the cover, but this one's cute. This is the exception. This next book, I feel like my expectations were a little too high, which I think definitely played into my rating for this one, but I picked up The Ministry of Time by Kalani Bradley. I've heard really great things about this, and this book is also sci-fi, so I really want to pick up more sci-fi books, but I can't really tell if it was the writing style or I don't really know what went wrong for me with this one, but I did rate it 2 stars. It just fell so flat. I feel like there was just so much going on with the plot that it was so difficult for me to picture what was happening and to clearly understand where we were in the book and in time, and it was just very confusing, which I know that sci-fi can be a very confusing genre, but I don't know. To be honest, I can't even really tell you what this book was about. The only points that I really remember are probably spoilers, so this just wasn't for me. I just did not enjoy it. That's all I really have to say. I just didn't enjoy it. Could be for you, but was not for me. The next book I read, I actually listened to on audiobook, which is Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood, another Allie Hazelwood book. Didn't even realize. This one's just a short and sweet little novella. I rated it 3 stars. It was nothing crazy. I feel like novellas are kind of just a book that I pick up whenever I need something fast-paced to get me out of a slump, or just something in between a bunch of romance books. I also feel like I don't really tend to rate novellas too highly, so that also plays into my rating. But this one was cute. I will say this is a really, really good winter read. Maybe not so much for the summer. It does talk about snow and snow activities like skiing, so it is very much so a winter book. But overall, I thought it was really cute. I like their little banter back and forth. I do enjoy video games, so it's kind of fun to read about that. And even though that was very minor in this book, I thought it still played a fun little role in it. Out of all the novellas that I read from her, I feel like this is by far my favorite one. It was just more fun, and I feel like the pacing was a lot better compared to some of her other books. Overall, I'm just not sure that I quite enjoy. Oh boy. And last but not least, we have this one. I have so many thoughts on this book, but to put them into words is going to be very difficult, so I will try my best. But I finally picked up The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've been trying to pick up all of her backlists because I've not only heard great things about it, but one of my closest friends loves this author and this book. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I read a book that had just a story that I felt, and that I may not relate to, but I felt what the character was feeling. I feel like Evelyn Hugo is a real person. Even though she is literally just words on paper, she feels like a real person to me. For a little backstory on her, she had a very, very rough childhood and kind of did anything and everything to get herself to fame and money and just living a good life, which in Hollywood and in general, it's just so hard to live a perfect life and to just live a really good life with nothing going wrong. So as you can imagine, a lot of things go wrong. And I feel like another reason why I really loved this book is because it felt and it read like it was a memoir. I really love listening to and reading memoirs. So Evelyn Hugo is kind of talking about her life story throughout this book to this girl, and she's trying to figure out, why did Evelyn Hugo hire me to tell her story? What is the significance? Why me? And the plot twist at the end, I should have seen it coming, but I didn't, and oh my gosh. This book was beautifully written. I gave it 4.75 stars. Honestly, with the way that I've been thinking about it, it could bump up to a 5-star. I probably explained this horribly, but if you haven't picked this up, I really recommend it. It's just hard to put into words how I feel about this one. This one was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So those are all the books that I read in the month of August. I definitely feel like I'm going to be reading more and also better books in this next month because we're entering September, which means it is the start to fall books, and I have so many on my TBR that I'm so excited for. So stay tuned for some fun reading vlogs coming soon. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more future reading content coming soon. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.